Well, here you are back on Night Sounds, Barry and Joe, with a super group, Andy, Trevor, and Callum. It's Tripliciti.
Woo! Woo! Yeah.
Now you guys play with your fingers and use instruments in between you and your fingers, right? Is that how it goes?
Nailed it. That really sums it up. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, there it is.
Alien up here in the corner who probably does it by like telekinesis or something.
Yeah, you guys are very angelic this time on the program. I like seeing you. If you're watching us on YouTube, you can see their lovely faces and their studio locations. It's great. But tell us the technical term of what you guys are. You're not just guitarists or instrumentalists. There's like a term, right?
Yeah, it's kind of a catch-all phrase for just the way that we play the guitar. We use our fingers, on our right hand, so we don't use a guitar pick, which most people are kind of used to seeing a guitar player use. So, but that kind of covers classical guitar and flamenco and country. There's just some country music finger picking, and so we were all kind of inspired by that approach to guitar, especially some of the more modern guys like Michael Hedges is a huge influence for us, and using altered tunings on the guitar and even doing percussion on the guitar, just all kinds of stuff to just trying to cover all the bases of music at once, like melody and harmony and rhythm all at the same time on one guitar. That's kind of how we all got into it, I guess.
Wow, it's crazy.
Does it hurt?
A little bit at first, I guess. You might use some muscles you weren't used to. Like there's sometimes techniques where we play over the top of the guitar neck. And I remember when I first tried to do that, like for a month, my forearm was just super sore, and trying to do that kind of thing. But
so wait, are you talking about the? Well, I'm not trying to.
No, I think he's talking about
the
going
neck over like that with your thumb and.
No, actually, I'm getting the camera here. Like, so you're over the top of the guitar neck.
Yeah.
Oh, you're like on
camera like that.
Instead of this, he's like this.
Woo! No way.
You're like twisting your glutes and your whatever those are.
Exactly.
Your muscles you don't usually use.
You're not twisting your glutes trying to play guitar. At least I hope not, because that would be really weird.
Could be a new technique. You never know, huh?
Well, how did the three of you find each other? Because you're both, all three of you are excellent in your craft. Now, how did this? There's like a fourth person that's like, dude, Caleb should meet Andy, should meet Trevor. We got to get them in a room together. Is that how it happened, or what?
Well, you guys want to? I don't want to hog the conversation. You guys want to take?
No, I mean, we all, Callum and I, for years were big fans of Andy, and we all kind of grew up, listening to Michael Hedges and various guitar players, and we're all massive fans of Andy. And as part of that, in our forming years, and so I think we originally all hung out for the first time at a canceled festival outside of Philadelphia. This was like 2011, 2012, something like that. And I think that was the first time we all as a group, I knew Callum individually. And then, we just hit it off personally. We had a really good time, and we would tour, just in duos or instead of as the trio, at various times, supporting Andy. Callum and I think did some stuff, and there was always a nice musical chemistry. And so we ended up doing, I guess, about 5 years ago or so, we had a lineup of a tour called the Guitar Masters Tour, and Andy invited Callum and I on. And part of the end of the night of that tour, we would all sit in on each other's tunes. And, this is like the era where like sometimes one guitar is too many. So like if you put three together, like what could happen? And it was just amazing how right away, each one of us understood the space of the song, how to serve the melody, how to make sure that as you're playing on another guy's tune, to allow that their part to be really, kept and secured, and anything that was added to it was going to like enhance the piece. And so we knew after that we got to do something together, because personally it was so great to be on the road. But also musically, there was just an instant click that we never had to talk about. Like one of the pieces I had played with Andy, and Callum had played with Andy individually. And Callum and I had not discussed what parts that we were going to play. So we didn't write parts on this specific. It was For My Father, the most recent single that we put out. And we played that the first time. I think we played it at Soundcheck or something the first night in Phoenix. And it's like intuitively Callum and I were not in each other's way in the parts that we wrote for Andy's tune. And it was just immediately this kind of sense of this is what it's about. And there's no competition. It just feels like this even love of the music and whatever decisions we can make to support that. And I just feel like that's rare. So that's why we had to do something together.
Yeah. Well, Joe likes to ask the technical questions about your rig. You know, he I don't know that's like a different language.
Why you got to put me on the spot right now?
Because you always be like, what kind of guitars you got? And I'm like, I have no idea what you guys are saying.
I'm not going to ask that.
Yeah,
do
please.
You guys what do you got? What do you guys play? Are you Telecasters, Stratocasters? Are you Gibsons? What are you looking at? What kind of pickups do you guys have? All that good stuff.
Yeah, you want to go, Callum?
Sure. Yeah, we
Pick it
all
up.
Custom guitars from custom builders, all Canadian actually. And I played one made from a guy in Quebec named Mario Beauregard. And the one that I used for the album is a small jumbo cedar and monogamy wood. And
monogamy.
And Trevor plays a guitar from Sheldon Schwartz, also Canadian in Ontario, I think. Right?
Oh, let's see it. Oh, nice.
Shiny.
He's got the guitar. He's got a kalimba attached to that and just makes incredible music with it. And he also plays a high-strung guitar on the album, which is in a Nashville tuning. And which guitar is that again, Trevor?
That's made by a builder outside of Philadelphia here. It's called a Haney. And so it's just high-pitched. It's like if you buy, a 12-string guitar pack for any guitar nerds out there, you just put the high strings on, and it just reshuffles the deck of the decisions you make with chords and melodies. And so throwing that into the mix was so much fun.
Okay, let me try to pinpoint the type of guys that you are. Okay, I assume
go ahead. Just say it. I
assume you go into guitar shops. Okay.
No, not anymore, right?
Nope.
I was gonna say.
No. Keep going.
Are you the type that's you walk in and there's two types of there's two types of guitar guys. There's the ones that are in and out and get their gear and leave, and then there's the ones that are spinning all day long playing Stairway to Heaven in there.
No one plays Stairway to Heaven. There's always signs on the wall. You can't play certain.
Not
songs.
after Wayne's World.
Exactly.
We know that's a cardinal rule. Yeah.
You forgot the third type, which don't even go into guitar stores, and that's us.
That's you guys.
I see.
If there's a Guitar Center and Starbucks, we will immediately walk past Guitar Center and go straight to Starbucks. So we don't. I can't remember the longest time we've ever spent in a guitar store together besides like I need strings now for an emergency, but otherwise, no, we don't.
Yeah, so we all kind of stumbled into these like custom built luthier guys, that would be at guitar festivals and stuff. And we all just kind of found like, oh man, that guy's guitar is incredible. So we all kind of have our guys that we stick to. I play Michael Greenfield. I didn't get to mention the guitars I play. So he's also in Quebec, just an incredible builder. And so I've been with him for about 10 years or so.
Wow. Do you feel like that is a growing type of industry, like getting the custom guitars instead of just like playing out of the box and trying to find a different tone?
I think especially in the acoustic guitar world, there's a lot of really incredible luthiers. Even at the NAMM show now, the National Association of Music Merchants, they have this big convention, every year. There's a whole space dedicated to, luthiers that build custom acoustic guitars now. So I think once people do play for a while and they want to get something that's, kind of special, they start looking in that way, especially on the acoustic guitar anyway. But I think in the acoustic or the electric guitar world, still Ibanez and Fender and all those are still kind of the top nine. Music Man, of course, too. Yeah.
Yep.
Now, are you guys going to NAMM or is that not a thing anymore either? I'm sure all your homies hang out there. That's what I assume. It's like, hey, Steve, the guy that like made that guitar. Hey, Steve, how's it going? Good to see you. It's like that's the only time you see him is at NAMM. Yeah,
that's always kind of been why we went. I think like the main reason we all went for years. But, when the pandemic happened, they canceled it 1 year and then they moved it 6 months out and then they moved it like 3 months out. And then this year it was finally back at the normal time. So we all went and then we went to Las Vegas and saw G3, the original G3 lineup that came through. So we went to saw that show. But yeah, we were all out at NAMM this year.
You guys are having fun together. Now this song, this album comes out in April. Who came up with the band name and who came up with wearing the suits for the press photos?
Well, the band name Andy. So we kicked around a lot of names of what this project could be for a while, and I think Andy, you came across Tripliciti, right?
Yeah, just as an idea, I was trying to think of something with three, the number three in it. It just sounded interesting and cool. And originally I was thinking, let's name the album Tripliciti, and we were kind of going by McKee, Graham, and Hall. We would think, we would do that, but that started to just feel kind of like there's so many of those little like
Emerson, Lake, and Palmer.
Yeah, exactly.
Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
Crosby, Stills, and Nash.
Yeah.
So many, it's like really
with the same syllables. It was like, yeah.
So, but I mean, it's good when you get like some guys. We each have kind of our own careers going, so it's when you have all your names there, it's like, oh, okay, maybe they've heard of us, But we just thought, let's try something else. So we went with Tripliciti. The suits thing, like, I guess that was we had a manager for a while that we were working with, and he thought that might be cool, and we kind of tried it. We're not too sure if we're going to keep that route. It's just, we're not really that kind of guy, I think any of us are, like.
But I think those suits would make a great Calvin Klein ad. I mean, like, if you're coming off the subway and you see that on a poster, those photos look sharp.
I mean, you got to get, especially Callum.
Callum is like, exactly.
It's like a James Bond movie going on. I love it. I just want to see variations of you guys in the suits, though, in different situations. Yeah.
Like
we've tried the
place in our
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Who knows? Just at an arcade somewhere. Who knows?
Gardening.
Gardening. Yeah.
Which is your favorite track on the album? Which each of you?
Callum, you want to go?
So hard to choose. I mean, the one I think I enjoy most playing live is probably Hunter's Moon. The energy is just like, Andy summed it up well. It's like, I feel like we're Pantera on stage. It's, three white guys with guitars, but man, it's rocket every time.
Yeah.
But I love every song on the album. It's really hard to pick a favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so
I think
I got a question for you then.
Wait, no, I asked a question for all three of you, and I got one answer. Go ahead, Trevor.
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
Oh, I was going to say I agree with Callum in that I love the energy of Hunter's Moon, but I have this pick your favorite child, right? Each one of them, and I think when we were recording, we sort of realized that like each tune has its own universe to explore. There's like so many interesting little things we tried to put in to each tune, but we closed the record with a song called Ursa Major, which is a tune by Michael Hedges, and he is somebody who has influenced all of us in so many ways, and still all of our decision making and composition still comes to him informing that. He's just a massive giant in the acoustic guitar scene, but also in our lives personally. We didn't know him, but anyway, so I feel like I just gravitate towards that, and when it comes to that, I just listen to it like 2 to 3 times in a row because it feels like it captured a real reverence and sort of what we're about. I feel like a lot of that tune is I don't know, something about it feels like it's real fulfilling every time I hear it.
Yeah, I completely agree with that too. I love the whole album. It's hard to say
I know
pick one, but I think maybe it would be For My Father for me, if not Ursa Major. Those are both just really heavy, and that's always been like a real personal kind of tune for me. But when they added their parts to it, it's like the album version with these guys, like I can't even listen to it without at the end just go, oh God, getting choked up, and it's just every time, like it's crazy. So that one's really powerful for me.
Okay, Joe, go ahead. You had a question.
Oh, I get to ask my question now. Great.
Yeah, you can.
Okay, so besides the awesome stuff that you guys are playing originally, do you got any cool covers? Because, man, if there was one cover I could ask for you guys to do, I would love to hear Orion from you guys.
Oh,
from Metallica. I just think, I think you guys could rock that.
That would be cool. Oh God, I love that, dude. I saw them back with Pantera in St. Louis, like back in November, and they actually played Orion at the show. I was like, yes, it was like awesome to see it live, man. Always loved that tune. That would be badass. I've done a couple of arrangements, and the guys have too, I think, in the past. And I did like Africa a million years ago from Toto, and another tune from Toto called "I'll Be Over You." There was a tune. You guys know the Icelandic singer Björk? Sometimes she's called Björk.
Of course. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. She had this tune called "Venus is a Boy" that I always loved. It was like on the Professional soundtrack, that movie, The Professional. And when I heard it, I was like, oh, I love that. So I tried to arrange that for solo guitar and, a couple other things. But
what about Linus and Lucy from the Vince Guaraldi trio from Peanuts? See, you guys could do that too. That'd be great.
Who was that? Stu Ham, I think, did that on bass.
That was great.
Yeah,
that's been one of those that so many people have done versions of it. We're like, let's try some other things, Be Stairway to Heaven, Stairway. That's the next cover for sure. That has never been covered, not once.
Just go into Guitar Center and play that.
Yeah, dude.
Call it a day.
Spend all day there.
Yeah.
Okay, so the tour. Are you going to tour this album when it comes out?
Man, we would love to. That's been tricky for us to line up, man. We had delayed our release, to be honest, because we're trying to line up a release, go into tour. And it's just like when you have a new project, sometimes promoters are like, well, I don't know. And then, the three of us are all used to kind of going out on our own and, being able to make a living on the road. So when you got three guys, suddenly it's like, well, we need 3 times as much money to put the show on, kind of thing, and so I think we have to kind of prove ourselves a bit and see if people are into the music before we can hit the road, unfortunately. But that's kind of the nature of it,
Yep.
Yeah.
In the meantime, we'll see you at NAMM. We'll just put you all together.
Yeah.
And say, play.
You could bust right out front. It'll be great.
All right, so let's play For My Father. It's the single off the album that's coming out in April. Tripliciti. Now, what is this about? Tell us about why you made it.
Oh, sure. So, I guess I don't know if we haven't really mentioned it on the podcast here yet, but really the whole album is kind of, we took tunes from each guy and then the other two jumped in and added parts. So For My Father is one of my tunes originally, and wrote it as a solo piece dedicated to my dad. And he got me my first guitar when I was 13, and I'm going to be 45 in April, so I've been playing for a little while now, and I was just always, grateful for the guitar. He was a bit of an athlete, so he tried to get me into sports, but I just sucked at all of them, and so I was, just grateful for the guitar when I was 13, so I could hopefully get a girlfriend finally, and all that. But But he passed away in 2005 from cancer. But I wrote this tune before he passed. I was able to play it for him, and it's just one of those kind of tunes dedicated to my late father. So
very touching. A good way to go out. Well, thanks for coming on the show. Every time you release a single, come on back and we'll talk to you. It'd be fun.
Oh, great, man. We'd love to.
All right. And where can we find more info? Do you have like a website, or do you each have one? How does that work?
Do you guys want to? I feel like I'm hijacking the conversation.
We each have individual websites. CallumGrahamMusic, I think, .com, right, Callum?
Without
yours. Okay, CallumGraham.com, and then TrevorGordonHall.com, AndyMcKee.com. But we have Tripliciti.com with an I, because we're trying to be cool. So Tripliciti with an I, and you can pre-order the record there. But also we keep, we have merch, and you can order vinyl and guitar tabs and everything. So that's kind of the main hub of everything that we're doing.
Cool.
Tripliciti.com. That's where you start.
Yeah.
All right, boys. Thank you. You can go back to playing now. Fiddling around with your fingers. Thanks for coming on Night Sounds.
Hey, thanks so much for having us.
Thanks, man.